Liberia. We are about to discuss on what is obtaining now concerning the census exercise. Where are we? Are we making some incremental progress, or are there still challenges? The issue of social mobilization, our community members all in high gear to accept the enumerators, although we are getting reports in some parts of our country that some of the citizens, they are yet to cooperate. We heard about Caldwell. So have we, encouraged them now? And some of those things we'll be talking about. But in the meantime, let me play this, and then I come back. Be there.
And foreign residents of Liberia. The government of Liberia, through the Liberia Institute for Statistics and Geoinformation Services, pledges and will provide the accurate information on which the main census will be based. This will also help the government in planning for development.
Population Housing Census 2022. Stand up and be counted. 2022 Census.
When they come to map your houses and check other features in your community, the religious team will be properly identified with jackets and ID cards, and they will follow all the health rules. Now, therefore, I, George Manuel, President of the Republic of Liberia, call on everyone in our communities to work with the religious team as they come around to carry out this important exercise throughout the length and breadth of Liberia. Shape your future. Be counted. I thank you.
Population Housing Census 2022. Stand up and be counted. 2022.
Liberians, that's the voice of our president, Dr. George Manuel. Census. A message from the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services, LAGIS, in collaboration with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, the World Bank, and other partners.
Population Housing Census 2022. Stand up and be counted. 2022 Census.
Okay, so you're listening to Census Hour. This program was launched sometime, it was last week, okay, week before, based on the request from the Minister of Information. He asked this management to launch this program so that at least our people can, be informed about what's happening with the population, the National Housing and Population Census. And since then, 2 weeks running now, this program has been on the air. We continued up to the end of the census exercise. Well, my guests are already here, Ambassador Judy Yandy. Judy, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Sir.
Please, okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay. And also, let's also welcome Assistant Information Minister David Collette. Dave, good morning.
Thank you, Saba. Good morning to everyone, and good morning to our listeners.
Okay, so I don't know whether let the minister start because he's yes, I mean, as a government spokesperson. Where are we now with the whole exercise, Mr. Collette?
Thank you, Saba. First of all, I'd like to thank God for His blessings and for allowing us to begin this process as a nation. And I also like to thank Ambassador Judy Andy and the Liberia Crusaders for Peace for the level of energy they've brought to the process. Her social mobilization has given a volatile face to the census process. We've seen social mobilizers in the communities throughout the country. We've seen this caravan with census flyers and messages all on the across Monrovia. They're moving across the capital. They're going to be going to other parts of the country. And I also like to thank the leadership of the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services, Mr. Lawrence George. He's doing a magnificent job so far. The census is well on course. So we are grateful from a media perspective. The media is on course. When you see the newspapers today, you will see ads, census ads. When you listen to the radio, you will hear jingles. These jingles are played on 56 community radio stations all across the country, 15 national radio stations, social media influencers. And so from our side, the census is well on course, and we are grateful so far that we've not had any major incident that would shift the momentum that the second wave of the census picked up, and we are moving forward, Sola.
Okay, so let me ask Julie, Madam Ambassador. I know we've been talking about census, but some may not know the importance of this exercise. Do you care to just bring us up to speed? Why should we have the census?
Well, thank you very much, and everyone in Radio Land and families or heads of household. We just want to thank you for your support. We also will continuously apologize for the rough start of the census, but I think the message is resonating with our people, and our people understand that census is not about politics, and that census is a national initiative, and it comes with development. And if we want to shift the development agenda of Liberia, then we all need to put aside our differences and the rough side of the census and just stand up and be counted, even with people within our borders. If you're not Liberians, but you are within our borders, you should be available to be counted. And it is good for our development. It's going to swift our, to transform some of the things that we are talking about. It's going to help us in determining on how demarcation can be done. It will also inform us on how our household will be placed in terms of economic sustainability. They talk about businesses, they will talk about our health, where you can have hospitals and clinics and all of them. It will also talk about gender budgeting, because it's going to show you in terms of how many women and how many men and the elderly. It will talk about how many people are disabled. It will also help the disabled community, how people can be disabled, sensitive, and compliance. So it's more of a national, and anyone that loves Liberia will want this census to succeed, because it is from this census that the data is used to determine the great things for Liberia in terms of development. So it is important. And besides that, we as citizens of our own country can only do for ourselves that others cannot do, like the World Bank and the UNFPA. They are giving support, even if they give us all of the financial support, and we don't have that support, that national support to move it, to make it national driven, to have the result needed for the census to be classified as great data, then we have an issue. So that's why we are talking to our people, and everyone hands on deck, and we are working to make sure it works.
Okay, we understand, Madam Ambassador, that some of the questions being asked, they are about furniture, whether a household has a bed, whether mattresses and television. What's the rationale for that?
Okay, even though you are interviewing me, and I don't want to ask your question, but I just want to put it in your household.
Okay.
Before you go to the grocery store to buy groceries, what do? You go into the grocery store. Before you go, you check your refrigerator or whatever you got, or you go into the market. You have to know you don't have salt, you don't have pepper, you don't have, onions and all of that. Then you make a list, and then you go to the market, and then you buy the things that you don't have, because having access of something is just I don't want to call the word, but it's not okay. So what they're doing is that we want to know how many Liberians are living below the poverty line.
Okay.
We want to know how many Liberians are middle class or have everything and who don't have everything. Then you have an informed decision from your psyche. You can make, you can now be, your psychosocial competence can be okay to make a determination of what you're going to do for the country.
Okay.
So government will now use the data to determine development, for example, whether they should carry another hospital in Bapolo County.
Correct.
Based on the population and based on the needs of the people. You can only get that from your census. That's why census is done after every 10 years.
Okay. Now, Mr. Minister,
So let me just
Okay.
buttress what she said. The census is a population and housing survey.
Okay.
It is important because, like she said, it will inform the government to make key economic policy decisions. Why do we need road in Kawieke? What's happening in Kawieke? Why do we need road in Bapolu? Why do we need road in Plibo? Why do we need road in Sodeke? Now, when the census people come with the questionnaires and ask, how far does it take from here to a hospital? It informs two things. That either a hospital is required nearby or access to the hospital is required. When they ask you, what do you use to cook? Whether cook pot, wood, stove, or electricity, it informs the benchmark, that base benchmark of how people are living. Because what you cook on will be a determining factor to know how you're living. For instance, people who predominantly cook on stove are either in the middle class or the first class. People who cook on coal pot are either in the middle class or the first class. People who cook on wood, it's obvious that they down there that line. So that question here is going to inform policy decision making so that the government can take the appropriate action to be able to remedy some of the challenges we face as a country. For instance, to come from Genwolara is in Bokomo district. It takes about 12 hours by foot to come from Genwolara. When the road was placed into Bapulu County in 2008, when our first road was done, it reduced the travel time from Genwolara to come to Bapulu City where they have a hospital. There is no hospital in Genwolara because it is a dense, thick forest region in Bapulu County.
Okay.
So the census data is important because it's going to drive, direct, inform policymakers in how to be able to distribute our economic, activities throughout the country.
Okay, because the reason why I ask, some of the citizens I understand from someone that they were asking, but if the enumerators who want to know whether we do have television or stove or what, are they coming to provide that for us, for which they are asking the questions?
Definitely not.
Okay.
But so in 2008, when you look at Liberia, for instance, our electricity grid, the kind of percentage of Liberians are having access to electricity in 2008, it was way around 9%. 9% of the country having access to electricity. Before Madam Salif left office, it came around to 20-21%. President Weah came to office with all of the challenges and everything we face. We are around 47% access to electricity. Two reasons why. Because of the increasing economic activities and because of the government stance that electricity and roads are the two key economic indicators that we need to drive the Liberian economy.
Okay.
So we are moving up. The CLSG line, which has already come from the Ivory Coast, is going to be commissioned tomorrow, December 1st, by His Excellency. That line is going to provide 27 megawatts of electricity supply to the country. That means that businesses like the ELBC, like businesses like the Fuani Brothers, businesses like the city builders and everything, those that are using generators to run their businesses will have reduction in the cost of using fuel to be able to run their activities.
Okay.
That is reducing the marginal cost of production for those things. It means that the price will somehow go down for those commodities.
Okay.
It's also going to improve and increase nighttime jobs, and going to give life to our nighttime economy. So these indicators will be able to inform policymakers on how to be able to distribute our economic activities throughout the country.
Now, so what are you people? What are you people getting? What sort of message are you people receiving from the enumerators? Because the thing is, we heard about some areas like the Caldwell area where some of the citizens were refusing to cooperate. So has that been laid to rest now?
Definitely. First of all, I like to thank the Liberian people. The Liberian people are very cooperative. They understand different processes. The case with the Caldwell thing was just an isolated one.
Okay.
It was settled very fast, and the people have allowed enumerators to, because these questions that do you have refrigerator? How do you go to the market? How long does it take to go to a hospital? Which category of workforce do you think you are? Do you think you fit in? All of these questions are informing policymakers. So we were able to settle that. The Caldwell thing was settled very fast, and all of isolated ones were settled. But generally, throughout the country, from Cape Patmos to Cape Mount, the census is well on course.
Let's hear from you, Madam Judy Andy. I know you are in close contact with the LSG's people concerning data. What are you people hearing from LSG's?
I've always learned, even in the health sector, when I go to meetings or programs and the epidemiologists are talking, I stay far away from them.
Okay.
And I stay in my line of science, which is communication. So right now I'm doing race communication.
So you don't have any idea what
no,
data?
I know the data has been collected. I've gone into the data room. I see what's going on, and it informed me that the social mobilizers are doing well. But to come and give you actual data, I can't.
Okay, let's hear from the Minister of Information who's currently here in the meantime. So he's a government spokesperson.
First of all, the first question was, where are we with the census? Deployment has taken place. Our enumerators are in the field. The payment process that was a Herculean task for the government and our partners has been taken care of. People are getting paid. The data from the enumeration is already coming in. We don't have the data uprightly right now, handy, to be able to tell the Liberian people we have done this much. But what I can tell you, that the data is coming. The data will help you as a country. The data will inform policymakers to do better in your communities. The data will inform the construction of roads. The data will inform the construction of clinics. The data will inform increase in budgetary allocation for girls in girls education. The data will inform health policymakers, and so the data is coming.
Okay.
The data is in different categories. I cannot speak to them right now, but definitely.
No. All what we want to know is that whether the data are coming in, but are they encouraging?
They are very encouraging. The last time the Director General for Legis spoke at the press conference, you heard him. He said the last time, it has been 1 week ago, he said 1.6 million people 1 week ago were counted.
Okay.
So it means that the data is well on course, is coming in.
Okay. Are those data validated?
Of course.
Are we giving out real numbers?
The data, they are automatic. There is no way to shift the numbers in the data. For instance, if I came to Sober George house and asked Sober, what's your name, your course, his name, your date of birth, your place of birth, your status and everything, religion and everything, the data is automatic. It comes on the billboard like in real time.
Okay.
Especially where they have the network, as they ask the questions and punch the data in, and the responses in the tablet, it comes automatically on the dashboard, and it shows.
You spoke about the issue of the financial impediment that also greeted the process, but I will come back to that, Madam Judy Andy. You said that you have your mobilizers. She laughed. You said you have your mobilizers across now. Do we know how many are they and which counties are you now?
Well, let me first of all say that the communication strategy for this particular census is actually an emergency where we are really using every channel available to us. So let me start step by step with you.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been able to meet the stakeholders, the council of churches, the
Traditional people, the chiefs and the elders.
the imams,
Okay.
and the Muslims and youth leaders, people with disability and all of that. And what we have been able to engage them to say, hey, let's forget the past, let's move forward.
Okay.
And they were very, that's what they are called high-level stakeholders. And so they've given their commitment in helping to make sure that the message go out to their various congregations and various platforms and various constituents.
Okay.
Then we move on to signing contracts with media institutions, as he rightly said to you, 56 of them across Liberia, because we are the main contractor and we are subcontracting people. So
the contracts have been signed now? Is that what I want to know?
Some have been
some,
signed based on auditing purposes tomorrow.
Okay.
So we've signed a contract with these people. Now, then we signed contracts with the artists. So those selected artists have already signed their contract. As you can see, they've been visible into the community. Then we have the group of other women organizations like WIPNET, Women on the Move, Oral Contact Association, any different women groups and all of that. They are also then the rural women structure. And so we're working closely with Mark Kebe and all of that. So all these people are talking, and whenever I have an opportunity, like when we went to the ambassador of UN Women, who is also the ambassador, the Goodwill ambassador for female genital mutilation and child marriage. When she was here, and I happened to be accompanying them to Nimba, to Songe Town in Todi. I had the opportunity to just stand there and ask the people, hey, have you been counted? And then I gave the message of census. The census is about, development and all of that. And everybody was like, yes, they've been to my house. And oh, yes, they've been to my house. I've seen them, yeah, they're here in our community. While I'm there, I'm not saying, because I came to do work for UN Women. So what I did, I started going to the community and see whether the houses were marked. And then I have my cameraman, take the picture of it and all of that. And as I was going along the villages, I stopped and asked them, have you seen people here who come to talk about counting you? They say yes, they came here, they asked this question. So the work is ongoing, and every available channel to us will make sure that is done. And then we have...
So how many counties you have your mobilizers, and how many are they? Or are just...
It's per county, based on the population and the distances and all of that. And when you are speaking to people and you want to have accurate data, then you need to call the technicians to be sitting by me and be giving me the data. So I don't want to get, but they are in the
I hope you can bring the technicians
next time, so that we tell you specifically.
Because we want to know how many mobilizers are...
No, the total mobilizer are about 1,420.
1,420.
But I cannot tell you how many per county, because it varies per county. Like Montserrat, you have bulk of the mobilizers in Montserrat County.
Why?
Because of the population, because of the district.
That was Lofa or what?
And
that was Nimba?
No, you will be talking about Lofa. Then the next, you need not to talk about Lofa now. When you come from Montserrat, you need to go to Nimba.
Okay.
Then when you come from Nimba, you start talking about Lofa, Bon, Grand Bassa, and Magidi counties.
Okay.
When those have more mobilizers than the other counties, and it's based on the population.
Now let's hear from you, Madam Judy Andy. What sort of work are your mobilizers doing? Let's assume they get into the communities. What are they doing there?
From the training, they are actually doing door-to-door interpersonal communication, door-to-door talking to people, giving the messages to your doorstep, and going maybe to marketplaces and all these different areas. Some that have microphones, because we don't have enough microphones. Those who have microphones will use the microphone and will get wider because of sound. But then they are going one-on-one. It's done in the evening sometimes when people come from the farm and people sit with them and say, this is important. Census is about this, so you need to make yourself available.
So they're not doing any drama at all in the community?
No, we're doing drama. That's a different team.
Okay.
That's a whole lot. That's why it's called the communication strategy. The dramatists are doing the drama. And then the jingles has already been produced. The jingles.
So where have they gone to go do drama? Which country have they gone to do drama?
People are doing drama in their communities.
Okay.
like I can give you a picture before I leave on the drama group sitting there and doing drama in the community.
Okay.
Even artists
and then
performing.
besides that, on the
Like-
radio, on your very radio, the drama is being played on ELBC. So you have a live drama
No,
performance.
I'm talking about fine, live
Listen,
drama
you have a
performance
live drama
in the
performance.
communities.
They are doing that live drama performance on a mobile moving stage. Okay, so the mobile moving stage has their live drama the performance. Then the drama is actually on the radio.
Okay.
Then you have, it used to be 16 vernaculars, but we made it 17 by adding Sapo to it.
Yes, you
so
did.
the 17 vernaculars is already on the radio. So
All the
it's
community radio.
all the community radios per county.
So
Let's-
the mobile, performance. How many counties are you in also?
The mobile moving stage is stationed to a densely populated area because it comes with a motivational
Like West Point,
tool
maybe.
and all of that. Or in those areas, they are going there. The schedule is there and they're going there. So the mobile moving station is going out to the community. Then the road show.
Okay.
The road show is the one that you have the robots, the professional artists, and then the float. So they're going into community. And you can just see industrial number 10. Industrial number 10 in Oro, if you see the number of persons that turn out just to get the message at their program that they launch at Oro. So these are different things that we are doing to just engage the people to have a robust approach when it comes to the communication aspect of the census. Knowing that we started on a rough ground, we've asked our communicators that you apologize first of all to the people when you enter their community. You do a very good community entry. If it's in the village, you talk to the town chief and you move forward. And I think for what the information we are gathering, I think it's okay.
Okay, so Mr. Minister, we started on a very poor note, and part of the reason was the issue of cash. Where people couldn't get to what they were promised. Where are we now with that?
We're pretty good. We've done very well with the cash management. The problem was the duplication of names. That was one of the challenges.
Okay.
There were threefold challenges. One was that people presented names that did not match the numbers in their mobile money operator network, And second, people provided the names and the numbers, but the names were different. For instance, I gave the example the last time. My name is David B. Collet, and you just put David Collet.
Okay.
The system is not going to accept that because that was not what was published on the website, and that is not what in the system. So you have to begin. So the team from the Ministry of Finance, additional team to give support to the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geoinformation Services team, sat with the team, the UNFPA people, and began to look at the list and look at the numbers.
Okay.
And so after that exercise was done and completed, we are very, very, very good now with payment. Payment is ongoing, and we are hoping that the process will be very comprehensive and successful.
Okay, that's good. Relative to the radio stations and other institutions, I understand that a contract has been signed, right? Now, what is required from those institutions? What role are they supposed to play as prescribed in the contract?
Okay, so we sent several messages to the radio stations. We send the main census jingle that is, giving a clear message on the census. We send the vernacular to the community radio stations. We sent the president's message. We send census drama. When you publish or air the census jingle on your log, to be able for transparency purpose, you will have to photocopy the log that will have the census jingle being played on for the day, and that photocopy will be attached to your bill that you will submit.
Okay.
The money is not our money. The money is international partners and GL money. We have to full the account, and the Crusader for Peace will have to full the account. So all of the rigorous requirement that is required to be able to meet full payment and full requirement for payment have been satisfied by most of the institutions. Daily Observer yesterday came over, the New Dawn newspaper, the Women Voices newspaper, all of the newspapers came over to sign their contracts.
Okay.
Radio station owners, Cool, Freedom, Prime, OK, ELBC. I mean, all the radio station leaders have already sent representatives to sign their contract. So the contract is comprehensive. It says how many times you're going to play the jingle. When you finish playing the jingle, one evidence that you actually play the jingle, it should reflect on your program log. Bring a copy of that program log, attach it. We are also listening. We are listening to the jingle being played on ELBC and other stations. So we want it to be a transparent process, which is why Madam Andy has insisted that this is not just going to be, you come and sign for the money and go. No, you must come with your documentation and meet the requirement.
Okay, let me ask Madam Andy. Madam Andy, how are you monitoring those stations in rural Liberia?
Okay, we have independent monitors that are doing radio monitoring, and they are monitoring the radio stations to see whether they're playing the jingles and who's playing it. And we have this innovation that we say if the best radio station will be given a certificate for the census, just to encourage them so that they can play more. But the play time is in the contract, so our independent monitors are also monitoring. So if you bring it, we compare the monitoring, our independent monitoring report with what you submit.
Okay. The last meeting we attended, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Mr. Minister, I'm sure this question is for you. She made a proposal, in fact, she requested that the census end beyond the 2nd of December, the time that was stipulated for the census to come to an end. Where are we now? Is there any extension, or are we ending the census on the 2nd?
Well, he will speak to the enumerators and all of that, but I want to speak to communication. In the communication strategy, we will end in December. We'll make our report in January. So we're ongoing.
So it means that entire December you'll be working.
There's a window period by the legislature that was given.
Yeah.
Okay.
That says from this time to this time. So we're going to operate within that window period. The window period is from November till January. So we're going to operate within that window period to be able to comprehensively provide, all of what we're supposed to do. And so the leadership of the Vice President on this entire census thing has been very phenomenal. She's brought energy to the process. She's brought leadership, and she's getting regular update on the process. So we are hopeful that the mandate of the national legislature will be fully executed, that, from the November up until January, which is the window period that the legislature gave allegiance, will be met, and the census data will be provided to the Liberian people.
We want you to educate our people. We see a household listing and the mean count or the mean enumeration. What is the difference there?
Okay, the household listing is the marking of the houses.
Okay.
That is separate from the enumeration process itself. It actually begins from the mapping process. So the mapping will show you how many houses you have within your particular district. So the enumerators will go there first and go and mark the houses. So when they mark the houses and then come back and do the actual enumeration, they begin to ask you your questions, employment questions, livelihood questions, how you live in, what you have in your house, how far is it from here to a hospital, how far is it from here to a school, are you in school, did you graduate from college, what do you do for a living. So that's a different process from the household listing. The household listing has been very successful. If you went around now, you will see that many of the homes, the houses have already been marked, and enumeration process is ongoing.
Okay, let me talk to Judy Andy. The last time you appeared here, Madam Andy, we asked about this whole contracting of you. I know you are quite pleased that you've been single source. Judy Andy is the one who's dealing with all the international partners now, with the monies coming in, all of that. So, have you signed the contract officially now?
So what? I want to ask you a quick question. Where are you getting at?
No. I'm
just in a contractual agreement and contract.
I'm just asking. People need to know.
No, but honestly, you know that in 2008, Crusaders for Peace was doing a communication strategy for an implementation for Legis,
Okay.
and sponsored by the UNFPA, and the records are there. And we work with Joey Kennedy at the time at Legis, and Dr. Edward Liberty, and also with Dr. Francis Ray. But anyway, that's not the issue. What is it now is that we were called in to, lend our support, in which we have agreed, and we send an activities and proposal that what we can do now to really have a reverse communication implementation strategy to move this thing forward. And it has been done. We've signed the contract. We are waiting for the funding.
Okay.
I want to repeat, we signed the contract.
You signed the contract already.
We've signed the contract already.
Officially.
You
put a pen to the people now.
With a documentary evidence, because
that's
pictures were
good.
taken.
That's good.
And working very closely with the team from the World Bank and UNFPA and Legis and the Ministry of Information. Ministry of Information, so that we'll be able to be on track. And the reason we are also signing contract with the vendors and all of these people based on commitment, so that once this UNFPA and the World Bank, we'll be able to pay the people as soon as possible. So those contracts have been signed. The contract has a window period. You can get paid like tomorrow. You can get paid up to, but we just can't cross December.
We can cross December.
No.
Do we need to know the value of the contract?
Well, to tell you the truth,
You see, the minister is nodding his head.
No. I can't even give you a value of a contract. In a contract agreement, that people think that you're afraid to say.
There's something there that you need to hide or what?
There's nothing you hiding. But the fact there is that the contract with various UN agency has a confidentiality clause.
Right.
If Crusader for Peace breach that contract, I've been with these people for 29 years. If I breach the contract and start carrying figures and everything, it doesn't make any sense. So I will deliver, and then when I make my report, they will come down and say, hey, we gave Julie any days. That's their issue, not mine.
But why you don't want to say?
No, but because the contract comes in different phases. Some are their technical support, but the value added, for example, you gave me a contract, but you providing the vehicles, and the vehicles have value, and I come here and call it, and you think that they gave all that money to me. I'm not going to do that. It's confidential.
Mr. Minister, do we need to know the value of the contract?
So which is why I wanted to speak. First of all, Ambassador Andy and the Liberal Crusaders for Peace have been doing a magnificent job.
Okay.
That's the first thing. And I've been with her every step of the way. Now, most of what you see have been pre-financed by her. You heard what she said? She said the contract has been signed, but funding has not been provided. How do you think those musicians are on the floor going? How do you think the float is ready? It's decorated.
She's pre-financing or what?
How do you think? But what do you think was going to happen? It has to be done, or else we'll be back on the timeline. So she's been making significant, inroads, and she's made significant sacrifice to ensure that this process is up and running. So for me, the value of the contract doesn't cut it. What you see is the result of what's coming out. When you look in the contract, some of the activities there are purely under the auspices of the UN people.
Okay.
They are the one responsible for payment, engagement of vendors, and everything directly. It is not with her. So to come and call value is going to be, creating this thing, and people think that, is for me, I believe and trust that, I trust her work, and as a government, we are happy that we are working with her and the results are coming in.
But is it a handsome contract, Madam Judy?
No.
Not a handsome one?
National and patriotism is what we are going to see.
Okay, we'll open the lines for just 5 minutes, and then we call it a quit. We ask you for a parting comment. We call it a quit. We have an interview to conduct with someone else. We just received that information. So let me open the lines just quickly for a few minutes, 5 minutes only, 0776 540 987. This line is blinking already. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, sir. This is Matthew
Okay.
in Pano County.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to commend the biggest staff there for their work. And we hope and pray that Also go to we pray that in the future you have a team living in Sino whereby you can connect them instead of maybe sending teams from Monrovia to Sino on the Dominican Road, because we are doing awareness on what we so we pray and hope that maybe you can create a team here from school to school on different issues where the children can know, and in case we have any program like this, your team from Monrovia.
Okay, many thanks. That is us call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Sabot, and good morning to the consumer de Liberians.
Yes, sir.
My name is Abraham Political Mojosetu, and I call from the headquarters of the Veterans Bureau on the most talk about Avenue this morning. Let me appreciate your team in studio. I think Madam Judy and the lady team, I think they doing extremely well and know right information at the right time, bring hope to the public. The issue of the censor is everybody's business. We should not take the thing out of politics. They take politics out of it. I listened to one of the sisters and radio station this morning said that in Nema County, in District 4 and District 5, the people are not taking the process serious. I'm appealing to them. Then they take the process serious. I like how you still get and make it expensive, make it simple. If it be counted, you will encourage central government to know where to carry development, so let's desist from that and embrace the issue and come everybody to see how to take the issue serious.
Many thanks. I take this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and my question to the studio guest, if I have my children and one or two of them are not in my house, would they be counted different, or they will be included in my numbers?
Okay, they'll respond to that. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Honorable Summer John.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm one of the enumerators from Kumi County Clay District.
Mm-hmm.
Since we did a training up to now, we haven't yet received our certificate and our 25%. And yesterday, I was on the tablet to go on the field in the rural area. I don't know how am I going to make my way to the rural area. So for me, I'm playing the book about they were attended for the deployment yesterday. For me, I'm playing since they just refuse to get out from the certificate in Clay District. I will hold it down there. I will hold the information. I will not send any information in until they pay my $50 and my 25%. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks. Let's take this last call quickly. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, we lost this one. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, this is my hands calling from Grand Cape Town, Kinjo, Kula District.
Mm-hmm. Just go ahead.
Yes. I saw, my concern has to do with, I saw the census people came there the few times, but then some of us, our houses are not being counted, and then, there's no, number on the houses, and then they did not come to us to count us. Like for me, nobody ever came to my house to count me, but then I can't see them anymore. They have gone back. So I don't know why.
Okay, you don't know why. No problem. The people will respond to that. Mr. Minister and Madam Andy, how do you respond? And we'll get your pattern comment quickly.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to apologize to the enumerator who was trained and who is here to get his 25% and the $50. The team is trying to sort out properly, correct the names and the numbers. Okay. We've been working on that. It's a challenging task, and we are hoping that task is going to be comprehensive, so that when we start to send the money, it doesn't land in the wrong hand. Okay. That's the first thing. So I'd like to appeal to you as a patriotic person, as a citizen of